Hello and welcome to a new episode of the FPL Secret. Hello there, my name is Zekret, and today's episode is going to be different because it's going to be about our future plans and the reason why I activated my wild card last week and how does my team looks like for now and for the upcoming weeks. I'm going to show you my plans and the reasons behind every choice I made. So after I took a look at my team after 3 game weeks, particularly after game week 3, you'll see here that my teams looks very bad. And this week I took a hit for a -4, and I have here Onana with 0 points, Tarkovsky 2 points, Estevini 1 point, Chilwell 6 points, Richarlison and the usual disappointment with 0 points, Martinelli, which I really wanted to transfer out since game week 1, Phil Foden, after he came in the second half, scored only with 1 assist, Saka as well 8 points, Alvarez 2 points, Jackson 7, Haaland as a captain is 8. And you see on my bench I have Turner, Luis Diaz, Baldock and Luke Shaw. So after this week I took a decision to take a hit and transfer Luke Shaw and Richarlison out for another defender I'm not decisive yet about, and Richarlison for Sterling. So I wasn't planning to wildcarding at all at this week, and I was just going to take a hit. But then I took a look at my defense and I saw Estevinian with very hard fixtures to come. Onana after the injury of Luke Shaw and Varane, actually the Manchester United defense wouldn't look the same, so I don't want Onana in my team for the moment. So it's Onana, Tarkovsky, Estevinian and also Baldock. Sheffield looks really poor. Luke Shaw as well, because I doubled on Manchester United defense and that won't work in the next game weeks. And also in midfield, I would like to transfer Richarlison and Martinelli out. And I wanted to take advantage of the attacking spots and transfer one of the Manchester City assets and get a defender because they really look solid defensively. By midweek, I took the decision and I activated my wild card to get rid of all of that. I know I should have made an episode last week about this, but I wasn't at all decisive about my wild card until the last minute before the deadline. So I postponed it to this week. So people who are wildcarding, I know a lot of us are going to wildcard during the international break. So I thought it might be beneficial for some of you. So let's take a look at my team. So it was really hard days and it took me a lot of time to do like this big draft to match the fixtures with the choices and the numbers and everything to take my decisions. It's really hard to take a decision to wildcard because you're building everything from the scratch. I decided I want Areola as one of my goalkeepers, the 4 million goalkeeper. He is very good with the saves point. And West Ham with the new signings of Alvarez and Ward-Prowse looks very good defensively. So Areola was a choice I made easily, and I needed another goalkeeper to rotate with. And Lino is also a good goalkeeper who makes a lot of saves. So I thought I'm going to depend on the saves more than clean sheets, and I'll choose 2 goalkeepers that can rotate well. And I made a long-term plan that extends until game week 20. Where the second wild card will be available to use. So if you see here, I managed to make it. My goalkeepers are going to play Luton in the first game week, Luton in the second game week, then Crystal Palace, Sheffield, Aston Villa, Everton, Brentford, Nottingham Forest, Wolves, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, Fulham, Wolves, Burnley and Bournemouth. So I see the combination is very good and it will allow me to have good fixture every week by rotating them. It's not usually my plan to rotate goalkeepers, but I'm gonna try a new thing. Maybe it gets me out of the terrible rank that I am at the moment. Same thing goes with the defenders. I choose a Newcastle defender, and that would be Fabian Schär, because Botman is out injured, and I don't know for how long he's going to be sidelined, and Trippier is very expensive at 6.5, so I went with Schär at 5 million because we all gonna need Newcastle defender in the upcoming game weeks because they have really good fixtures. I also choose Chilwell because we know how he's capable of doing a lot of attacking returns, and Chelsea got a very good fixtures to come, maybe about around like 4 or 5 games. I sort of selling him by game week 9 when he plays Arsenal because he's gonna have some tricky fixtures. But maybe if he's so good, I will keep him and I maybe bench him sometimes and play him sometimes. I also choose Pedro Porro from Tottenham. I know that Edoji is very popular and he gets a lot of price rise at the moment, but I believe that Pedro Porro is more dangerous and he's going to get more attacking threats than Udoji. And the difference when I bought him was 0.3 million, so it wasn't really something huge. So I decided to go with Pedro Porro, and he has a lot of nice fixtures to come, and he's going to rotate well with the other defenders that I have. I also got Diaz from City because he is the most nailed defender. I know he is the most expensive one at 5.5, but I decided to go with him because I only gonna need him for about 4 game weeks, and after that I'm gonna transfer him out for another option that I will decide later. Because after that the fixtures gets tricky, and I don't really need Manchester City defender at those fixtures. And I decided to go with Matty Cash from Aston Villa as well, because a lot of good fixtures are yet to come. And I like Lukadin as well, but I think when Alex Moreno is back, it's going to be difficult for him to keep his place. So it's more of guaranteed with Matty Cash, because he can play as a third defender and also as a wing back when they use the 5 in the back system. So I decided to get him and keep him on the bench for this game week. Maybe play him in the next week against Crystal Palace, and then bench him again against Chelsea. Same gonna go with Brighton, and he's gonna have a very good run, and I'm gonna depend on him by then. I had a lot of other options in mind. I had Estupinian, and it was very hard decision to sell him. But because of the fixtures, I don't expect him to get any clean sheets, and Brighton is not good with the clean sheets anyway. And it's going to be difficult for him against the big teams to get an attack in return. So I thought it won't be useful to keep him, and it's better to take advantage of his spot by bringing in another defender that has good fixtures, and I can get him back to my team maybe by game week 10 when his fixtures get better. And I also thought about Anderson from Crystal Palace because I really like Crystal Palace's defense, but I thought I can jump on Henderson if he got the number 1 spot. He was my first choice goalkeeper before I go to Leno. So I decided to wait on that, and maybe it's one of my transfer later that I get Leno out and get Henderson in, because I know he is a very good goalkeeper, and with Crystal Palace defense, it's gonna be something. I also thought about Pinnock from Brentford, but not for so long, because I'm not really convinced by Brentford defense nor Fleck in the goalkeeper, so I decided to go with no Brentford in my team for now. For the midfielders and the attackers, I took the decisions together because in the defense, we are more likely to play 3 in the back, and then it's 4 in the middle or 5 in the middle. It doesn't matter. It's according to the assets that you have and the fixtures and everything. So I took a decision on my 8 players together to rotate them together. I was convinced with Saka from the beginning, so I decided to keep him. And I also had Madison instead of Richarlison, which a decision I should have made in the first game week, but I got tempted by Kane leaving, so I took the punt on Richarlison earlier, but he wasn't worth it. And Madison did great in the first 3 weeks. And I also have Sterling here, which I'm convinced that he is Chelsea's best asset. I was convinced since the beginning, but since we have a lot of choices in midfield, I decided to go with other options and depend on Jackson as an attacker. But right now, I think that Sterling is the best option, so I took the decision to get him in my wild card. Also, I'm very convinced with Foden from what I saw, and I believe he is very explosive when he gets a chance. And he played very good in the number 10 role in the last game in game week 3. So it wasn't really a hard decision to get him. I was totally convinced that he is the best Man City asset after Haaland. And I decided to go with him, and to get Diaz, I decided to drop Alvarez, which I was hesitated about in the last minutes that I could get Anderson from Crystal Palace instead of Diaz, and then get Alvarez in back again, because they're gonna play Fulham, and if I get the 3 attackers of Haaland and Foden and Alvarez together against Fulham, it's gonna be a good thing. But I decided to go against it, and I went it for the guaranteed minutes of Diaz. So I took the decision, and it went really wrong, because Alvarez got about 12 or 14 points last game week. In attack, of course, Haaland keeps his place and all is well. And I decided to go for a few more weeks on Jackson to get an advantage of the fixtures, and then I can transfer him out for another asset. For Pedro from Everton, I decided to take a punt on him because I saw him in the cup game. It was his first game, and I saw that he is very hungry, very attacking, very good in the air, and also a good finisher. So I was really tempted to get him, and it's his first game, and Calvert-Lewin is always injured, so I thought he's gonna start. I was really sure of it. So I got him, and he got me 2 points, but he wasn't bad at the game, and I probably gonna keep him for the upcoming games as well, because I really believe in him. He is a potential striker. And what happened this week is that I ended at 73 points, which is not bad, but not so great as well. But I'm looking forward to the upcoming games with my team and the rotation I'm gonna make, and I believe it's gonna be worth it. So I played Areola, and he lost his clean sheet in the 90-something minutes, which was very disappointing. Chilwell as well against Nottingham Forest was a great disappointment, and he got subbed off after 60 minutes or something. I'm not really sure about Chilwell and how it's gonna go, because he usually gets subbed with a winger, which is usually Modric. So is he ever gonna play as a left back, or he's gonna stay in this role where he plays very advanced? I'm not really sure about Pochettino and how he gonna use him in the upcoming games, so I'm gonna keep him for now, but he is a potential transfer out later, maybe after 4 game weeks when the fixtures get tough. And I also had Sterling and Jackson. Great disappointment. It's really unbelievable that they lose at Stamford Bridge to Nottingham Forest, and all of them blanks. I also had the triple Man City, Diaz and Foden and Haaland, and of course Haaland smashed it as a captain. Foden only got an assist, but he was good, and I'm really optimistic about the upcoming games for him. Robin Diaz lost the clean sheet, and that was a great disappointment for me, because I had Alvarez instead of him, and I sold Alvarez for Beto, who got 2 points, so it wasn't really the best decision. I also had a double up from Tottenham with Pedro Porro and Madison, and all of them got me a returns, and it was a very good game for both of them, and I really like what I did on that, and they have the next game against Sheffield. So it's going to be a good opportunity to play them both. Also, one of my last minute transfers was to get Izzy out for Bowen. I was totally convinced it was Izzy, but I got tempted with Bowen and the West Ham and the form that they are in. So I went with Bowen because they are going to play Luton Town, and he scored a goal and missed some more chances, so it wasn't a bad decision as well. I decided to keep Cash, Leno, and Char and Saka on the bench. It was a good decision for all of them except Saka, who got 4 points, but I didn't expect him to get much against Manchester United because it is a big game. So I don't really regret it. So here you go, guys. That was all about today. I spoke about my wild card because I know a lot of you is going to be activating it this week. So I thought maybe some of you are going to like my choices and use some of it, and I hope it's useful. So I'm going to see you guys later. During the international break, I'm gonna make more videos about a wildcard draft and also some other videos. So until next time then, see ya.